Welcome to this top secret show, where every week we uncover one of the worst conspiracies in history.
Anonymous hosts are convinced that the conspiracies are true.
Shocking and wild theories.
Rate and follow Conspiracy Q to share the truth.
Today we are launching a top secret investigation into a concept that, let's be honest, sounds completely out there.
The idea that reptilian beings
Yeah.
are secretly in control of our world.
You, our listener, are someone who seeks knowledge, someone who wants to get the full picture, and this top secret investigation aims to do just that, delve into a truly bizarre theory.
Based
On
on
recently uncovered or classified sources exploring angles you might not have encountered before.
our mission for this top secret investigation is straightforward.
Okay.
To meticulously examine the evidence presented in these recently uncovered or classified sources
All right.
regarding this alleged reptilian elite.
Yeah.
We're not here to say it's true or false, but to explore what these sources claim and the patterns they suggest.
Exactly. So what are we looking at in this top secret investigation? We'll start by looking at serpent imagery in ancient cultures around the globe.
Right.
Then we'll explore some of the strange behaviors attributed to the modern elite.
Mm.
We'll also delve into the unsettling claims of missing people and silenced witnesses.
Okay.
Then we'll get into some of the more unusual aspects, like theories about DNA and bloodlines, rumors of secret underground bases,
Yeah.
the idea of predictive programming in our media, and finally, the sheer amount of serpent symbolism that seems to be everywhere.
Okay. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's unpack this starting way back in history.
What's truly intriguing when you look at these recently uncovered or classified sources is the repetition of serpent-like figures in ancient myths across the world.
Yeah.
Civilizations that had no apparent contact with each other developed remarkably similar stories about powerful, often divine beings with reptilian traits.
Our sources highlight Mesopotamia, for example, with the god Enki. He's often depicted with reptilian features and is associated with this primal ocean called the Abzu, and incredibly with the idea of tinkering with human genetics.
Really?
It's a concept that feels very modern, yet it's rooted in ancient beliefs.
Yeah. What might explain that?
Right.
If we then look at India, we find the Naga intelligent serpent beings living underground who, in their mythology, frequently interact with humans.
Interesting.
These aren't just monstrous creatures.
Right.
They're often portrayed as wise and possessing advanced knowledge.
And then you travel across the globe to Mesoamerica, where the Aztecs and Mayans worshipped Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent god who descends from the sky. Again, we have this powerful reptilian figure, but this time associated with creation and knowledge coming from above. It's another consistent thread.
The source material makes a compelling point when it discusses China.
Okay.
Their emperors claim direct descent from dragons, not symbolic dragons, but actual sentient creatures in their historical accounts. This wasn't just a metaphor, it was a claim of literal lineage from reptilian beings.
Wow.
Why this specific animal across so many influential cultures?
It's a powerful image, and it doesn't end there, even in Africa. The Dogon tribe has these detailed stories about the Nomo, these amphibious reptilian beings who they say came from the Sirius star system.
Interesting.
It's a completely different part of the world with a completely different origin story, yet the reptilian theme persists.
Yeah.
So as our sources ask us to consider, is this just a bizarre coincidence? Or could it point to some shared ancient understanding,
Right.
perhaps even a warning that has been passed down through the ages in these myths?
Exactly. When you see this recurring motif of serpentine beings linked to power, wisdom, and often hidden realms,
Yeah,
what does that suggest to you?
it's a great question.
Could these myths be echoes of something real, or are they simply a common archetype that resonated across different human societies?
Okay, so let's jump forward in time to today, because this is where our top secret investigation takes a really strange turn.
Okay.
Our sources delve into the alleged peculiar behaviors of the current global elite. We're talking about claims of researchers documenting some truly odd occurrences.
The recently uncovered or classified sources point to several key areas of these alleged strange behaviors. One of the most visually striking claims is the observation of brief vertical-slit pupils.
It's like a reptile.
Yeah, like a reptile in the eyes of politicians, celebrities, and even royalty during news broadcasts. Of course, visual anomalies can have many explanations.
Sure.
But the sheer number of these alleged sightings, as the source suggests, is certainly something that fuels this theory.
And it's not just quick visual oddities.
Right.
There are also these insider accounts of certain elite individuals demanding incredibly cold rooms.
Interesting.
The question our source raises is, Could this be linked to the idea of them being cold-blooded? It sounds far-fetched,
Yeah.
but when you're exploring a theory like this, you have to consider all the alleged details.
Precisely if we consider the possibility of a non-human physiology, maintaining a lower body temperature might be a biological necessity. The sources also mention testimonies from aides and assistants who describe their employers with unsettling terms like soulless, inhuman, or unsettlingly calm.
Right.
This suggests a potential detachment from typical human emotional responses, perhaps even hinting at a suppressed non-human nature.
The sources even mention specific instances. There are alleged reports from diplomatic circles about Queen Elizabeth II's eyes supposedly changing shape during high-pressure meetings. Then there's the claim from a former Secret Service agent regarding Hillary Clinton's body stiffening unnaturally during a medical episode, as if something momentarily shifted.
Wow.
And who can forget Mark Zuckerberg's awkward public appearances?
Yeah.
Particularly that water drinking moment, which has been heavily scrutinized online as potentially non-human behavior.
It's crucial to remember that these are anecdotal accounts and interpretations of public behavior.
Of course.
However, as the sources imply, when you put these isolated incidents together, does it create a more compelling picture for you? Does it make you wonder if there's more going on beneath the surface than we typically acknowledge?
It definitely plants a seed of doubt. Now, let's move into a much darker aspect of our top secret investigation, the claims surrounding missing people and silenced witnesses.
Okay.
The sources suggest that individuals who have spoken out about non-human elites or related conspiracies have met with untimely ends or have been completely discredited.
This is where the narrative presented in the recently uncovered or classified sources becomes quite disturbing.
Yeah.
They detail several cases that proponents of this theory point to as evidence of a deliberate cover-up. Take Phil Schneider, who claimed to have worked in secret underground bases and even to have had encounters with reptilian beings.
Oh, wow.
His death was officially ruled a suicide, but the circumstances,
Okay.
missing fingers, a crushed windpipe, and signs of torture, as described in the source, are highly suspicious to many.
It's a truly unsettling case. And then there's Max Spires, the UFO investigator, who openly discussed non-human elites. He died vomiting black liquid, and incredibly, no autopsy was performed.
Really?
The lack of a thorough investigation raises serious questions in the minds of those who follow this theory.
And we shouldn't overlook William Pollack,
Okay.
the former U.S. Air Force computer expert who claimed to have knowledge of biometric data collection for a supposed non-human agenda. He also died suddenly, and according to the source, his testimony was suppressed for a considerable period.
So we have these individuals, each with some connection to or claims about non-human entities, and they all experience premature and questionable deaths.
Yeah.
The question posed by the sources is stark. Are these simply tragic coincidences, or do they suggest a coordinated effort to silence those who get too close to the alleged truth about the reptilian elite? It's a key piece of the puzzle for those who subscribe to this theory.
It forces us to consider the immense power that such a clandestine group would supposedly wield and the lengths they might go to in order to protect their secrecy. These cases, as presented, certainly fuel the more extreme interpretations of this conspiracy.
Let's shift our focus now to the rather bizarre realm of DNA strangeness and Rh-negative bloodlines. This is where our top secret investigation delves into the genetic aspect of the theory.
What the recently uncovered or classified sources highlight is the unusual prevalence of Rh-negative blood types within certain royal families and elite bloodlines.
Oh.
For those who might not know, the Rh factor is a protein found in the blood of most people.
Right.
If you have it, you're Rh positive, and if you don't, you're Rh negative.
Okay.
It's a basic genetic marker.
And the sources really emphasize the mystery surrounding its origin.
Right.
Where did this Rh-negative blood type come from? They also point out anecdotal reports from many Rh-negative individuals who claim to experience heightened psychic abilities, incredibly vivid dreams, and a strange feeling of being different or not quite belonging.
While these personal accounts are subjective, the sources then introduce a rather provocative theory. Could the Rh-negative blood type be evidence of a separate evolutionary lineage? Or perhaps even the result of ancient genetic manipulation or hybridization by extraterrestrial or non-human beings?
Wow.
It's a radical idea, but it fits within the larger narrative of reptilian influence.
To underscore this, the sources name some very prominent families and individuals who are reportedly Rh-negative, the British royal family, the Rockefellers, and even several U.S. presidents.
Wow.
It's important to note that verifying this information definitively can be challenging,
Of course.
but within the context of this theory, it's presented as significant.
Okay.
It definitely makes you ponder the potential implications of these alleged genetic links to positions of power and influence.
It certainly raises questions about ancestry and heritage.
Right.
If there was a non-human genetic component introduced into certain bloodlines in the distant past, how might that manifest in subsequent generations?
Yeah.
Not just physically, but perhaps even in terms of predispositions or behaviors.
All right, now we're venturing into the shadowy world of secret bases and alleged deep Earth activity. This is where our top secret investigation goes literally underground.
The recently uncovered or classified sources discuss the persistent theories about reptilian beings inhabiting subterranean bases beneath the Earth's surface. While it might sound like science fiction, the sources present certain pieces of evidence that proponents of this idea often cite.
Leading the charge is the infamous Dulce Base in New Mexico, a location that is a hotbed of conspiracy theories. The sources mention alleged reports of joint human-alien experimentation
Right.
and even hybrid breeding programs supposedly taking place deep beneath the desert floor.
Interesting.
It's a claim with very little verifiable evidence, but it's a cornerstone of this particular aspect of the theory.
Following that, the sources point to the Denver International Airport,
Okay.
a place that has garnered significant attention due to its unusual murals, a vast network of underground tunnels, and the presence of Masonic symbols. Many within this theoretical framework believe it to be more than just an airport, suggesting it could be an emergency bunker or a central hub for the reptilian elite.
And then we have Antarctica, which has become a focus of unusual theories in recent years. The sources mention alleged no-fly zones, unexplained heat signatures detected beneath the ice, and those rather curious visits by various global leaders, even mentioning John Kerry's trip during a U.S. election.
Right.
The question that arises is what could be the true purpose of these secretive locations and activities, if not what we are told?
This taps into a fundamental human curiosity about the unknown and the possibility of hidden agendas operating outside of public awareness.
Right.
The concept of secret underground facilities controlled by a powerful, unseen elite certainly captures the imagination and raises questions about what might be happening beyond our knowledge.
Let's pivot slightly, but stay within the realm of the strange with the concept of media and entertainment as a form of predictive programming.
The idea, as presented in the sources, is that the elite might subtly introduce elements of the truth into our movies, television shows, and other forms of media.
Okay.
The goal wouldn't be outright disclosure, but rather a gradual desensitization and acclimation of the public to certain ideas,
Right.
so that if the truth were ever to emerge, it would be less shocking.
The sources offer some specific examples. The original V miniseries from the 1980s and its later reboot, both depicting alien reptilians disguised as humans trying to take over Earth, are frequently cited. Then you have episodes of classic science fiction shows like Doctor Who, Star Trek, and The X-Files that have all featured reptilian shapeshifters or hidden lizard societies.
And the sources also bring up David Icke,
Okay.
the former BBC broadcaster who has become a prominent voice in promoting the reptilian agenda, while his theories are widely considered controversial.
Sure.
The sources note that some of his predictions have allegedly come to pass in the eyes of his followers, lending a degree of perceived credibility to his claims.
The central question here is why would mainstream media, which is supposedly controlled by the very elite we're discussing, allow these kinds of narratives to be produced and distributed unless it serves some underlying purpose? The theory of predictive programming suggests it's a way of subtly preparing the collective consciousness for a reality that is being kept secret.
It's a fascinatingly cynical view of the media's role.
Yeah.
Instead of simply entertaining, it proposes a more manipulative function, slowly planting seeds of possibility and normalizing the seemingly unbelievable.
Finally, let's examine what the sources describe as the elite's alleged obsession with serpent imagery.
Okay.
These symbols in plain sight.
This aspect of the theory focuses on the recurring appearance of serpent or reptilian motifs in various powerful institutions and cultural expressions. The sources provide some very specific examples for us to consider.
Take the Vatican, for example. The sources claim that the main audience hall, when viewed from above, bears a striking resemblance to the head of a snake. It's an architectural detail that becomes quite noticeable once it's pointed out.
Interesting.
What could be the meaning behind such a design?
Then there's the ubiquitous caduceus,
Okay.
the symbol of intertwined snakes, which remains the primary symbol for medical and pharmaceutical organizations around the world. Given the ancient associations of serpents with healing and knowledge, its continued prominence is seen by some as more than just a historical tradition.
And it extends beyond official symbols. The sources also point to the repeated use of serpent motifs, eye symbolism, and what are interpreted as underground or ritualistic themes in high-profile events like fashion shows, Super Bowl halftime performances, and music videos. The suggestion here is that these aren't random artistic choices, but rather deliberate signals of allegiance among the elite.
The interpretation of symbols is inherently subjective, but the sheer volume and consistency of these serpent-related images, as the sources argue, does raise questions for those who subscribe to this theory. It suggests a potential hidden language or a way for the alleged reptilian elite to subtly communicate their presence and power to those in the know.
So, as our top secret investigation draws to a close, the recently uncovered or classified sources we've examined paint a picture of a long-standing and pervasive control exerted by a reptilian elite. It's a theory that attempts to link a vast array of seemingly unrelated historical events, modern behaviors, and cultural symbols under one truly extraordinary premise.
What's remarkable, at least from the perspective of these source materials, is the intricate way they weave together ancient mythology,
Right.
alleged contemporary observations, and cultural representations into a single, albeit highly debated narrative.
And it leaves you, our listener, with a truly thought-provoking question, one that builds on everything we've explored but wasn't explicitly stated in the sources. If even a small part of this information turns out to be true, what would that mean for our entire understanding of history, of who really holds the reins of power and the very nature of our reality?
It's a big question.
It certainly encourages you to continue questioning and exploring these ideas for yourself.
Indeed, it challenges us to consider possibilities beyond the conventional narratives and to remain open to alternative explanations, no matter how unsettling they might initially seem.
Welcome to this top secret show where every week we uncover one of the worst conspiracies in history.
Anonymous hosts are convinced that the conspiracies are true.
Shocking and wild theories.
Rate and follow Conspiracy Q to share the truth.